Well, this is somewhat familiar and yet different all at the same time. Again. We told you all we'd be getting the guests. And we've got the guests. Don't you worry. But anyway, kia ora, queens, and welcome to the Currently Unnamed Podcast, where we put the real and the tea in reality. And you can always come to us first to quench your thirst. I'm Logan Murphy, say something gay, and I am just drinking a little bit of green tea with honey, Lana.
You're learning.
Sweetened. It's not sweet, but it's sweetened. And I've got water, of course, because hydration is incredibly important. So
absolutely. And you're learning. I like tea with honey too, but that's my hot tea.
Thank you.
Hello, everyone. I am Lana, your resident evil diva. And I'm here to give the tea, spill the tea, and drink the tea because you know I love me some tea. I am drinking water, still drinking on some water because, hydration is important. But most importantly, I have the most important mug you can ever have in your life. And that is a cup mug, period. And I'm going to celebrate it anyway, panel full of cup mugs, almost. But it's okay because, duh, you got to get your cup mug at Lana G's Creation. New and improved cup mug, by the way, because it's better than ever. It has been tweaked. It has been worked on, new and improved at lanagscreations.etsy.com. That link will be in the description below. And we do ship domestically here in the United States, Canada, and Mexico. And we do ship internationally. So there are no excuses. Australia, New Zealand, I'm looking at y'all. I'm looking right at you. Get your cup merch, period.
Well, I'm David Healy, and I don't have a cute intro, but I do have a cute shirt. Had to wear this one. It is my Isis Avis Loren shirt. And you know what?
Wow.
I bought this at DragCon.
David? I don't even know why.
I don't know why you're wearing that shirt.
I bought this at DragCon over the summer, and it took like 15 minutes for me to get my card to work. It was wild. And you know what? I forgot to get it signed. What the heck?
I forgot to get my cup mug signed by you too, and I'm forever sad about it. But there will be another time, and I know that for a fact. So.
Exactly. Yes. But I'm just drinking some water right now.
And who the hell are you?
Who is
Hello, it is me, the current reigning down under queen, Isis Avis Loren, in the house. Woo!
Period. That deserves a party. That deserves a party. That deserves a party. Hey.
I'm also drunken. I'm drunken. Yeah, Gil.
Oh, we starting early, baby.
There's a party now. I'm drinking an Earl Grey tea with oat milk and honey. All yummy.
I'm about to say, you sure that's what you're drinking?
Yes.
Okay.
Some water, because you got to keep it hydrated. I have a lovely fan that I'm fanning myself with. You can get at isisavisloren.com. And I'm also repping the merch from my daughter, Max Drag Queen. Oh. Yes, I did rhinestone it myself.
I love that.
It's so wonderful to be here on the cup.
We're so happy to have you.
We are happy.
I love this podcast. I watch it quite regularly, actually. Yeah, I love it. I'm a fan of the fans. All the fans. The fans.
I'm gonna have to get fans. I got to get your fan now. Now that I know you have, I have one. Look, I have one down under fan queen from the queen. Now I have to get yours. I have to get more.
Yes, you do.
It's happening. It's gonna happen.
I was gonna say, I think I didn't buy a shirt from you because I'm pretty sure you were out of my size by the time I got to your booth.
I might have been. Yeah.
So.
I might have been
for several people, and I was like, oh, wow.
Look. DragCon is it's a bit hard logistically. There's only so much you can take from down under without spending a fortune. So, yeah, that's all right.
Yeah,
That's all right. You can get one soon enough.
That's all
absolutely.
right.
I will. I
Look,
will.
would you say IsisAvisLoren.com? I will be looking and getting a shirt and a fan. Because I don't have shirts. I don't have any drag shirts. So if I do get a shirt, you will be the first.
Ooh.
I'll say that.
Yes.
I feel honored. I feel honored. Oh.
We're honored to have you here, our second current reigning queen on the pod ever. Elville will always be the first, but you will forever be the second. And we're just happy to have you because we love you. We love Down Under Season 3. If y'all couldn't tell by the fact that 3 of the girls have been on, and spoiler, we've got more coming.
Period.
But we're so excited, especially because, hello, you're a judge this season. Hello.
And a damn good one.
And a damn good one at that. But
Thank you all.
Of course. And we're gonna talk to you about everything that's been going on since Drag Race, and we're gonna talk about this fabulous episode because another spectacular episode of Drag Race Down Under Series 4 with one of the single best overall design challenges I have ever seen on Drag Race. Ever.
Okay.
It was so good. And we're going to talk about all of it. But before we do, make sure to subscribe if you've not already, because we're here almost all the time giving you almost all things drag. Currently, it's a lot.
It's a lot.
A lot of drag.
Yep.
So much drag.
Yep.
But it's fine.
Yep.
I love drag. I still love drag. And make sure to check out the description below where you can find all of our audio podcast links, our other YouTube channels, and our Patreon for exclusive content and early access, including early access to most of the Look Over Here episodes for the franchises that we are currently covering. So, Isis, let's talk about Drag Race and post-Drag Race. How have things been since the season, since snatching a crown out of Gabriella Labucci's hands? How have things been for you?
They've been absolutely wonderful. I have had so many opportunities to tour the nation and go overseas. I was able to do DragCon in LA, which was just incredible. I got to meet you lovely people and so many wonderful people over there. And I got to travel while I was there as well, see a bit of America, which was awesome before a certain date occurred. So it was wonderful to experience that. And I've just received so much love and I've been able to do so many wonderful little things just like career-wise, which has been fantastic, and there's more to come. I have a few announcements coming, which is going to be really exciting. That's going to happen, and then I suppose the major opportunity that kind of came out of Drag Race was going back onto Drag Race as a judge, which is just mind-blowing. Yeah, it's it only sort of really hit me when it started to air that as a fan of the show, as a super fan of Drag Race, as a lover of Drag Race, I'm not in Ru's position, but I'm like I'm doing what RuPaul does. And to be it's just incredible to be to love the show, love RuPaul, and be in a similar position, and to do that, to be a part of the queer conversation with drag and with everything is just, I feel extremely honored. I'm very grateful, and it's again mind-blowing.
I said
crazy.
I was like, Isis is the Michelle Visage of the season. Like Michelle has stepped up and took Rose's place, and so you are the Michelle Visage, and I love that. I was like, that's so great, so cool, so wonderful.
Thank you.
I love that for you, and you're doing such a great job. Thank you. It's not like anything that we're like, oh, I don't know what she's talking about. I don't agree with that. But because you know how we are, we will quickly say, I don't agree with the judges on this part. So, thus far, I haven't said that too much. Like, I don't agree with that. I thought everything was pretty fair.
Good. I've tried to go on and be a fair judge. One, because I know the girls and we'll probably have to work with each other at some point. So you've got to be nice. But it's also just being authentic, and I suppose also having been there just the year before, I knew exactly what they were going through. It was still fresh in my mind. So I wanted to make sure that they were like feeling love. And whenever I would give a critique, there would be a reason behind it. There would be this is why, or perhaps this is it, like the situation. There's always different levels of taste or opinions. So I always gave that context. But it was always to improve or to hopefully lift up and inspire. We'll see how the rest of the season goes. It could turn into a bitch, who knows? But
Right.
Yeah. I tried to be, fair and grounded in reality, rather than just be flippant or say something for the camera. Like it's
Exactly.
Right.
yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's how we like to do. Yeah.
Go ahead, Logan.
I was gonna say that's how we like to do this podcast too, because it's like we are fans, but we're viewers. We're not the judges, but we have opinions. So it's like it's that fine line of like we want to respect that all of you have so much more experience and you're on Drag Race. So like in a similar way, we want what we're saying to be constructive, but also be honest. Because if I'm not feeling something, I'm not feeling something. But I'm not going to say it with any sort of disrespect towards people who have much more experience and much more talent in an area that I don't have.
Right.
So I definitely get that. And I think overall you've been a very, very fair judge and a very good judge. And one of the most relatable, because I feel like 9 times out of 10, I'm agreeing with everything you're saying to Queens. So I love it.
Good. Yeah, that's wonderful. I'm glad that you're feeling what I'm putting down. It comes from a place of like authenticity and like honesty, and my like back catalog of references and knowledge and that sort of stuff, which tends to be very fashion leaning and very like almost like commercial drag leaning, because that's where I've been able to operate and be most successful, and I enjoy it. I enjoy those areas. So a lot of the time, like I'll focus in on the fashion and the runway, and then in the performance side of it is sort of where I lock in as well. So it's yeah. And there was another point you made, and now I've forgotten what it was. Anyway,
it happens to me all the time. Welcome to a podcaster's life.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Constantly just like, oh no, I don't remember.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure I've got like early onset Alzheimer's or something, because my memory these days is just awful. It's just awful. Either that or the ADHD that I hopefully will get diagnosed for one day. Who knows?
Same. I just
Thanks,
did.
Medicare.
It's wonderful. It's wonderful. I hope you get there.
I do have a question I like to ask the queens that come on here. So I'm very curious. I know that we have quite a few Melbourne queens on this season. So I'm wondering, who are you familiar with? You might be familiar with at least one of them. So just tell us the tea about the queens you know.
Yes, well, as we all know, Max is my drag daughter. And actually, no, that's what it was that I was going to talk about at Logan's point, is fairness. Fairness.
Yeah.
So at the top of the first episode when we were filming, I said to all the girls, hey girls, there's some of you I know really well, some of you I don't know as well, but I know all of you. Actually, I didn't know many of the New Zealand. I didn't know Olivia. That was the only girl I didn't know. And I'd heard of Lucina. Everyone else I'd heard of, known of, interacted with. But I was like, I know some of you really well, as I know some of you not as well. But I'm going to judge this as fairly as I possibly can. And there were other things we put in place before filming and that sort of stuff to ensure there was fairness for me judging, especially with Max being on. So yeah, I've known Max. Oh my gosh, I think it's been 6 years, maybe 5. And I think about a year into that, we became a drag family, which has been wonderful. It's crazy. We've got so many similarities. It's wild. We grew up in the same area. We went to the same high school. We didn't go to school together because I'm 10 years older. But it's the same. It's like same education system or place of education. We're both the elder siblings. We both Yeah, we both are like huge Lady Gaga fans. And the other really weird thing that sort of like syncs us up is, you know, the bread tabs, the like bread clip tabs that you put on your bread to keep it from going stale. We collected those as children.
Interesting.
And we're collecting them now as well. So anyway, kind of redid it. We found out, we're like, oh my god, let's do it again. So we both like did that as like, it's just the same fucked up minds, them weird little queer minds that just sort of you know, yeah. Anyway, and there's many more similarities that I couldn't even tell you. But we just clicked. We've got very similar like energy, and we both are extremely passionate about the art of drag and the love of drag. So it kind of made sense to come together. Oh, and a lot of people were like, "Oh, this is new queen. She looks a lot like you, Isis." And I was like, "Oh my god, who's this?" And so it kind of just was like written in the stars, and everyone was telling us, so we did it. So and we've been working together for ages. We've got so many shows together. Like, yeah, it's love her.
Love
And then love her. And then Lazy, this is crazy with Lazy. So I met her probably like 7 or 8 years ago. She's been working a while in the Melbourne scene, and it's been a really fun time to watch her because she is mind-blowingly talented. In the way that her brain works, it's just so incredible, and she just everything she hits hard, which is we've been watching it. We've been watching the runways, and the episodes. She's got some wonderful, crazy things she's been creating. Anyway, so she did a competition called Dragnet, and I'd won the first year, and she won the third year. So we have like got this like other connection on the side where we've won the same, you know, pageantry system. It's not a pageant, it was a competition, but it's quite wild there. And she again, the way she did her package was really, really cool. Which is again evident in this one. So it's she's a force in Melbourne to be reckoned with. And like she works with Art Simone on Kick-Ons, which is a really wonderful program that we have. Another like it's a YouTube podcast just like this one.
Very familiar. Very familiar.
Yeah. And then who else? Who else is on? I forget now. Oh my god, see my mind. I'm getting too nervous. Oh my god. Brenda.
So
I was working till late last night, so my brain. Brenda is quite amazing. Her voice, actually, she was I don't know her that well from Melbourne because she runs in slightly different circles. But I did see her at the viewing party of episode 1 that Max has been doing, and oh my god, her voice, I was blown away. And her track she chose didn't work, so she had to do another one on the spot. And so her live singing, like switching it up on the last minute and being able to like hit it at the park, like, you know, just mind-blowingly talented. And then we have Vibe from Sydney. I've known Vibe for a long time. She came up the ranks, I think, a similar time as I did here in Melbourne. So kind of like watched each other grow from afar, and she's camp. Oh my god, I love her. I didn't know Nikita very well. No one did. No one did.
No one did.
She was being
silent assassin. What was that, David?
She was gatekeeping herself, or was she
being
being
no gatekeeping? You were gatekeeping. That's why we didn't know her.
Yeah. And who else from Sydney? Anyone else from Sydney? Now I'm forgetting. That's it, right?
That's it. I think that's it.
I think so.
Yeah. Can we have 2 from Brisbane? Yes, and then 2 from New Zealand. That round out of 10. Mandy.
Mandy moves.
I've known Mandy for a long time. I went to Brisbane, oh my gosh, like in the mid-20 teens and actually met her, and we got along like a house on fire because we know fashion and stuff. But she's just a hilarious girl. Hilarious. She's such a good time girl too. Like she just knows how to have a good drink with you, have a good yarn with you, can put on a show. If you don't have her on Instagram, have her on Instagram because her stories are so much fun. So yeah, I love Mandy. I really love her. She's so kind and so sweet, and she just has, as we see in this episode, a huge amount of talent. Like it's just incredible. Yeah. And then Freya I met last year when I was touring around with Work the World, and she is just a pocket rocket. My God, so talented, so much fun. And she has that like American fire that that I really appreciate. Like it's just so much fun. Yeah. And then Lucina is just incredible. Her makeup skills, her wig skills, like her Instagram, I just go over there and I'm like, drool. Like she's just beautiful. I think I met her last year. No, I don't know when I met her. I think I just knew her from Instagram. So I think the first time I actually met her was on Drag Race. And then we have Olivia, and I didn't know her, but I'm glad I do know her because she's so cute. She's so cute and sweet.
Amazing.
Yeah. Who else was there? I feel like I'm missing one.
Karna
Ford, the other Sydney girl. Yes. Oh my God, how can I forget her? I think I met her. I think technically I met her on season 4. But I've known of her beforehand, and she's just this
pocket rocket.
Again, a pocket rocket, but she has it. It's more so when she performs that it's a pocket. Like I think Freya's just always like on, and like she's like an Energizer bunny, where she just keeps going and going. Whereas Kana is a little more like, she's a little more like queen-like and like regal in her like general walk around, and then when she's on stage, she kind of like breaks it down and like gives it to you dirty.
Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, Kana's great, and I have loved watching her in the season. And her laugh, oh my God.
Oh, it's
like
incredible.
It's and I love how they put it on at the end of the episode instead of like the rude laugh. I just thought that was magic. Like, yeah.
I love when they add those little anecdotes with the queens, like, and they do it internationally now, and I love it. But anytime there's like just a good laugh, they'll replace Ruse, and I love that it was Karna.
You could hear it through the studio. It was great.
I love that. I do have to say this though. Now that you've mentioned that you and Max collect bread, snaps for the bread, I just need in some form in the future, I don't know how long it's gonna take for you all to collect as many bread things as you can, but with your skills and Mac's skills, I need a dress or a garment.
No pressure.
Full of bread clippings.
I am willing to donate some from a.
I can collect some and send some to you.
I thought that's where your story was going.
I'm not opposed. I can and will if you want me to.
Okay. I think if we're going to get this done in any soon time frame, we're going to have to crowdsource this because there's only so much bread I can eat, babes.
I know, right? You don't need to eat as
use this podcast. Hey, if you all want to send Isis bread tab,
some bread tabs,
we will crowdsource.
You want the twist ties, or you want the ones that clip on,
or the plastic ones?
Now people are going to be trying to tip you with them.
Well, I prefer money, but
no, we prefer money. Don't tip them with bread things. Don't do that.
Tip Isis and then extra tip. Bread tabs.
Bread tabs. Period. But
Yeah. Just the paper clippy ones or the plastic clippy ones. Those are the ones. Yep. The other ones, I have no use for.
Yeah,
we don't those.
Got you.
Can do.
I got you.
Can do. I want to dive into the episode, but I do want to share, and I don't even know if you're going to remember this video, Isis, but this is my favorite video from DragCon this year. And I showed it off at the start of this season, and I have to show it off again because it is incredible. So, queens walking.
Queens walking.
Queens walking.
Queens
Queens
walking.
walking. Queens are walking. The queens, they're walking.
They're walking.
Best video from DragCon last year. Like, best video. It's
Queens
the only time
walking.
I remembered. Queens walking.
Queens walk.
Queens walking.
Oh.
It's the only
Queens
time I
were walking
remembered to
and David.
film escorting someone. We did it several times, but you were the only one I remembered to film.
Mm-hmm.
But
Thank you for that escort. I appreciated it. It was
of
you know,
course, anytime you
I was
need
just-
it, and we're in the same vicinity, more than happy to.
yeah.
I'm a
I
cuddly
look
teddy bear,
so
but I
pretty.
look intimidating.
You did.
You did.
You always
looked
do.
Incredible.
You looked
Incredible.
amazing.
So good. But
Especially on
Let's
DragCon
dive-
because those days are long. My
Yeah.
God.
in doing media, we now have a little bit of just a touch of an understanding of how long those days are, because they were long for us too. But,
Yeah.
but let's dive into this episode. We come back in. Karna is gone. But we're in the aftermath of an incredible 3-way lip sync, a great episode overall, a high and low episode for Max, and of course it's the one episode you're not judging, the episode where she does talk about her story and give an incredible performance. I wanted to ask, what was it like when you all found out that Max was going to be on Drag Race, given everything that was going on? What was your reaction to it?
There was a lot of emotion because having done Drag Race, I knew how demanding it is. And she had like the complete option to not do it, considering she had just lost her main caregiver for her, for her life, her whole entire life. And the grieving that comes along with that is mountainous. Anyone who's lost a family member, a close family member, and a parent, it's heart-wrenching. So to see her struggle with being like, I've had this huge life event happen that I can't get away from, and another huge life event on the horizon that could open up so many opportunities. Like, what do I do? And my advice was, and a lot of people I think, was do it. Do the show. Your mum would have wanted that, and this show allows you to see the best and the worst of yourself, and the universe is giving you this opportunity right now for a reason. It may not come up again, and it'd be a great opportunity to take. It was her decision to make. I think she made the right one. I just wished it would have been under better circumstances for her, just to make it more joyous and easy for her, because Drag Race is hard enough, let alone grieving a parent. It's really sucky. But I think if anyone could do it, it's her. I don't think I could have done it. I think I would have probably been second out, just because I would have been so preoccupied. But Max has such a strong determination and has such a fire within her. It just holds her so beautifully, and she is able to hold so many complex emotions within her and still be able to perform. She can famously do it with a broken heart, and that's just is incredible to watch, and I'm so proud of her for being able to do it, and she should be so proud of herself. I just hope that people treat her with kindness with the last episode, because she was fucking going through it. And if you are gonna tear her down because she didn't do a great job, when she did a good job, it just, there were better people. I think he might be a bit heartless. So, treat each other with kindness.
Absolutely. That was the one thing I was so mad that I couldn't be here last week to talk about, because I have lost both of my parents and in my 20s. And I was just like, I felt that. Watching that, I was like, I feel her so much. And in that moment, so close to after you have lost a parent and you are now expected to go out and be okay for the world. They want you to be on. And some days you can do it. Some days I can be on. And some days you just can't. It doesn't matter how hard you try. It doesn't matter how brave you try to put on. The littlest things could trigger you and make you just can't do it. And the way that she just fought through that, I was so proud of her. I was so proud of her, because I was like, yeah, she had a moment where she was just not on. She just couldn't be on during that snatch game. She couldn't be on during those moments. But the way she was like, I have to pull it together if I want to stay here. She could have easily just not tried in that lip sync and let them send her home.
Yeah.
Easily been like, you know what, it's fine. I'll go through the motions and just do it so they can send me home, and then I'll be okay and to be fine. But she didn't. She fought and she slayed that lip sync. It was a really good lip sync. And the way she fought for it, I was like, baby girl, I feel it. I feel it. You better fight. And I was so proud of her. If I can tell you to express anything to Max for me, tell her I love her so much and I feel her. And I felt her in that moment on that stage. I was rooting for her, because going through that is not easy. And it's been 20 years for me since I lost my mom. And it's still days I can't be on because it's hard. It never goes away. So people definitely show her grace, because if you have never been there and you have never lost a parent, and I'm not talking about just emotionally lost a parent or the parent doesn't want to be a part of your life. That's one thing, and that's hard on its own. But to physically lose a parent and you can't talk to them when you really need to talk to them and want to talk to them, and y'all could be falling out and fighting, and you can still call them even if you're fighting with them. But when you can't, that's a different thing. So please let her know that my heart, she has my heart. She has my heart. But I was so mad I couldn't be here last week to express how much I appreciated her for what she did and how hard she fought in that, because I knew it. I felt it. I was like, you go, girl. You go. I love that for her. And then this week, she just bounced back like, she bounced back like the queen she is. I was, love that for her. Love that for her.
Yeah, and she bounced back, and she is a testament to her talent, skill, and her tenacity. And her huge heart that she has. It's just wonderful. As well as the girls around her, Vibe and Mandy and Lazy and the other girls, all, they helped her and they supported her, which is so important. It's wonderful to see that sisterlyhood, sisterness on Drag Race, which I think Down Under really, encapsulates well.
Yeah. I think Freya helped too.
Freya did help as well. Yes.
Oh boy, we'll talk about
we'll
that.
Get into it.
Distractions.
Let's get into the beef of this episode, literally, because Michelle comes in. We get a pseudo mini challenge, is what I'm calling it, aka bring in some hot men with tiny briefcases to pick the fabrics for our fierce, fabulous fashion design challenge. I'm not going to lie to y'all. I was a little bit nervous because some design challenges on Down Under have not been the best. Now, Isis always did well, but some of the design challenges have not always been the best on Down Under. So I was a little worried. I had no reason to worry after the runway, but I love the way that they stirred the pot. It felt very Michelle. Like this specific pseudo mini challenge felt very Michelle in like stirring the pot a little bit, doing this kind of survey of the queens, who's, you know, who has the most basic drag, who's the trait of the season. I liked the way that they did this. It felt unique. And the word we've been using all season to talk about this season of Down Under is fresh. It just felt fresh and bright. And I
mean, we've seen majority rules games. We've seen them do the majority rules type of thing. But I feel like the way they did it and allowing any queen to get as many briefcases as they could possibly get right. I love that, because usually they were like, okay, you won, you sit down, you don't, you know, but they let some of the queens get 2-3 briefcases, and like, now I get to pick which one I want, and you get to get whatever I have left over. I love that.
Exactly. Now I don't know who number 7 was, but number 7, whew,
I think it was 5 for me.
it has been a minute since I have thirsted over a man on Drag Race the way. Well, I did it earlier today when we talked about Canada's Drag Race, but but I was like, oh, hello. But I did love this. So we end up with all the queens getting their fabrics. For some reason, Brenda picks tie-dye. I still don't know why she picked tie-dye, but God bless her. God breast her, if you will. Like, I don't know.
Yeah. Which fabric would you have wanted, Isis?
A few people asked me this, and I would say I'd go for the sequin myself. Yeah, you get a good payoff with the fabric, and I know how to work with sequin. So I would, there's no doubt I would kill it, but that's my opinion. That's what I would choose.
Which one would you not want then?
Ooh, I'm trying to think of probably tie-dye. Yeah, probably tie-dye, because there's only sort of so many directions you can go with it. Yeah, probably.
What about you, David? What would you have picked?
Oh my gosh, I cannot even fathom making a look in drag. So
I know.
I'm like, okay, then probably denim, because I wear jeans a lot. That would be my
fair
pick. And then which one would I not want? I don't think I would want the lame either. Just because I'm not aesthetically drawn towards that. We'll see if I like what Mandy did, but it's just not what I find appealing generally.
Yeah. Lana, what about you? What fabric would you have picked, and what fabric would you have not wanted?
I would not have wanted lame, because I'm with David. I don't like the way it looks for me. But I think it's 2 I probably would have wanted. I probably would have wanted Kitty Girl, because who doesn't like some animal print? Me. I love that. Rare indeed. And I probably would have picked denim, because loves me some denim. I'm a fan of denim looks. Anytime a queen puts on a full denim look, I'm like, yes, give it to me. I love it. So denim is it.
Especially with Michelle in the room, like, I'm gonna immediately go for animal print. Like, you know, that's her favorite color, so like obviously you're gonna pick that. I probably would have wanted that, or I did really like the florals that Lucina ended up with. Just the black with the pink, I really liked that. And I would not have wanted the tie-dye, because I've seen some good drag tie-dye looks, but few and far between. Which I think is why I think that's one of the only like things they haven't done as a full runway category. Or I don't remember if they've done tie-dye. There's so much Drag Race, who knows? They probably have somewhere. Something.
Was there one tie-dye for?
It was, it was on season 15, because I'm thinking of Sasha Colby's look now. Never mind. They have done tie-dye, and it was a great runway.
I like tie-dye though. That's the thing. When everybody was like, why did Brenda pick tie-dye? I was like, I would have picked tie-dye if it was given to me. I wouldn't have been mad at it. I just didn't like the specific tie-dye fabrics they gave Brenda. That's the problem. Okay, now
like,
that
I would have done. Now I'm thinking about that runway again, and I kind of maybe would have done something like what Aura Mayari did, where it was tie-dye, but it was like all neutral tone tie-dye. Like, that's really fun. Or like tie-dye through the form of like bleaching. Like, that's fun.
Yeah, it didn't really look like tie-dye. It looked like the
But it looked
fabric
like
was just
rainbow.
rainbow.
But
Like
like, yeah,
rainbow.
but it was all just rainbow fabric, and I'm like, it's difficult to make rainbow look fierce, fabulous fashion. That's
Right.
the thing.
Absolutely.
I mean, I'm wearing it right now, and I'm making it fashion. But
Are you?
hey, I don't know.
Ooh,
I'm wearing a cutoff
kidding.
shirt because that's the only thing I had.
I'm just kidding. I'm
hate
just
you.
kidding. I'm
I
kidding.
hate you. I hate you so much.
I had you. We walked right into it. I had to take it.
did.
I had to.
I did. But let's talk about workroom stuff.
No, yes,
there's
please.
a lot.
Can I go first? Please let me go first.
By all means,
because
please.
I have issues with this workroom stuff. And Isis, this is you are very much a part of this problem with me. And it's not you. It's the way.
Isis is okay, good. Isis is not the problem. Got it.
It's not Isis. It's the way they did this. Because I was like, why do you bring Isis out there to do this whole walkthrough? And we only get one thing that Isis says in the whole, like, you only talked once. You didn't even get to talk. We didn't even get to see you talk to everybody. I was like,
we didn't get to see you talk to Max.
That's what I'm like. We don't get to see her talk to her drag's daughter about the look she's about to do. Like, come on, editing team. How do you bring the reigning queen of fashion out to the workroom, and then we get her say, I think sequence is hard to work with? That's it. Wait, what? That's it? What do you mean? I felt so robbed and so upset.
The Isis erasure in this episode.
I'm like, Isis is going to give some really good fashion tips, some techniques, try to help these girls out. We go get to see some goodness. I'm ready. And we got, yes, sequence is hard to work with.
I'm going to guess that the advice Isis gave was very technical and was not palatable for an audience, and that's why they didn't show a lot.
Look, there was a couple of things that I probably was like very boring, just like the sequence is hard to work with, so be careful with how bulky you make the seams. But I think a lot of the advice was either general as well, or too specific. And to the editing point, there was one point where Michelle goes, well, we might throw this to Isis, and then they don't throw to me. I'm like, why even include it? Why even include it? Like, it was just like, what? Why? Why? So yeah. There were also there were very sort of they questioned both Max and Freya about the relationship more than they were questioning them about the challenge. So it's sort of like, right, okay, like, what are we really pushing here? So anyway, that's reality TV for you.
I did like have her home by 10.
Have her home by 10. That's what we did.
Have her home by 10. That was my favorite line of the episode. But should we talk about the budding showmance?
I guess we have to, because they wanted to push it so hard.
Well, it was kind of hinted at because when Max had the question of who's the sexiest, she said, "This isn't my answer, but I'm giving what the
girls say." Yep.
And I was like, "Wait, what's your answer? What's your answer?"
I knew. Wait, when he said, I was like, "Oh, wait a minute. She got a crush on somebody up in here, because it's not who the group."
And even when the pit crew came out, she's like, "Oh, we're so pent up that even Freya's looking good to me." And I'm like, "Oh."
It's lovely. I think it's cute though. I'm gonna be honest. I love it. I kind of love it.
I think they're adorable.
My favorite part was when they were sitting together doing their sewing and making this stuff, and they said, "What's your first date gonna be?" They're like, "Now it's a craft date
right now.
We're having a
crafternoon date.
Crafternoon date." I was like, period.
We're two working drag queens. What else are we gonna do?
We go make dresses and wigs together. That's what we do.
Love it.
Hello.
I love it.
I love that for them.
Although the time probably could have been better spent for one of them.
Not that, David.
It wasn't Max, because Max made a
it
great
wasn't
garment.
Max. We will say it wasn't Max who should have spent more time on their garments, but it was good anyway.
Yeah. And that is one of the other overarching kind of topics that we see throughout the whole workroom segment is just exactly who is confident in their abilities and who is not. And my other favorite part of the episode is when Vibe comes up for her walkthrough with you and Michelle, and her sketch is just "Help me, please."
Help me, please.
I'm sorry, she's my favorite. Like, she is doing
her.
so many things in all the episodes where I'm like, you are killing me, girl. She is naturally hilarious. So yes, I'm sorry. I know she's not your drag daughter, but Vibe is my favorite right now. I love her.
Like if she ends up having, if she doesn't win this season, which I think there is a strong chance she will or can, if she doesn't, I think she could have like a Hanaconda level, like push over to like a UK versus the world or another franchise or something, and just like absolutely just become such an international force in drag. Like, she's funny, she's talented, she looks incredible, her makeup is incredible, her performing is incredible. Like, this season is so stacked that like the girls that don't win this season, all of them could go to another season and just absolutely demolish the competition. And it's so good to see. I love when a full cast, like you look at a cast top to bottom and everyone is talented, and you look at the first 3 eliminations of this season and they are all incredibly talented queens that it kind of just ended up being circumstance and not having an A+ on your report card for that day, but having an A-. Like, that's kind of what it has been this season. And I'm glad that we've called it kind of this like renaissance of Drag Race Down Under. And in a lot of ways, it feels like that with Michelle coming in, with, you, and I'm excited to finally see Spanky next week on the panel. And with Kita, like, it all just feels so wonderful. And it's nothing against the other 3 seasons, because all 3 seasons are great for a lot of different reasons. But this season I feel like when we look back 5 years from now, Drag Race Down Under season 4 is going to be a season we all remember, because it is going to be one of the best seasons of all time. I'm saying it here, and I've said it all season, but I really just think it's going to be an incredible season because it's giving everything that we want in Drag Race. And it's giving me everything I want as a super fan. And I'm just, I love it. I can't stop singing the praises of this season. Anyway, workroom stuff. Anyway, David, because I know you took notes. What else did I miss?
Yeah, we have some issues with people changing their looks around and changing them back. So I think Brenda was one that she started to get really worried about her look after Lazy was very blunt about it. And like, wow, this material's ugly. And I don't think she had any bad intentions with that. I think she was just being honest.
Did she?
She was okay. She was talking about the fabric. She's like, this fabric is ugly. Okay, objectively, maybe she's got a point.
Ugly. Maybe.
But I think Brenda was getting in her head about it and like second guessing things, and was like, okay, well, now what do I need to do to make it better? So I think maybe she was sabotaged, but not on purpose. But I did like Lazy was like, I am Brenda's inner saboteur.
I thought that was so funny. But see, I remember how other franchises that we talked about today, I was like, I don't like people trying to make TV, you know what I'm saying? Making TV, trying to do it instead of just making it naturally, making good TV.
Yeah.
Lazy to me is somebody who just naturally makes good TV. She's naturally funny. Sometimes she can be naturally villainous, and it's not bad. It's not a villainous where I'm like, that just seems a little like you're trying to be mean. Like, I felt like she's just being funny, but it's coming off a little villainous, and it's making good TV in the best possible way for me. I kind of live for Lazy Susan right now. I'm like, I'm living for this one. I don't know why, but I am. She's giving me the vibes that I think, for me personally, that I wanted from Nikita.
Wrong queen.
No, it was. I'm pretty much on the very.
You said vibes.
I hate you so much when you do that. But no,
I'm always listening.
I know, and I really wanted you to be walking away from that. she's giving me the what I wanted from Nikita, because like I wanted Nikita to be more naturally, if you go be snarky, be naturally snarky. And it felt forced from Nikita. It felt like she was trying to be snarky just to be snarky instead of just being snarky just because that's who I am.
Yeah.
Vibe can be snarky just because it feels like that's just naturally who she is at sometimes. But sometimes she's sweet and sometimes she's sour. She's a Sour Patch Kid, and you gotta love it.
And sour.
She's sweet and sour.
Sweet and sour. Is she the new
Love
Lemon?
I don't know. I love it though, but I'm
Is she
living
going to
for
win
her.
Drag Race on her second time? Who knows? We'll see. But to your point, we've been talking about Nikita. Nikita really feels like she's settled into the competition, and I feel like I'm getting to know the real Nikita now. And I'm like, great.
That's what I'm. I said it last time.
You did.
Well, not last week.
You did.
I said the first week I felt like Nikita was trying to put on a character that is not naturally her because she didn't feel like she compared or matched up to the other girls. And I felt like she was trying to put on a show and it wasn't natural. But then these next 2 weeks, I felt like, now, okay, wait a minute. Okay, wait a minute. This is Nikita. Even her snarkiness, when she was getting a little sassy this episode, it felt more real. It didn't feel like she was putting on a performance. And that's what I've been saying from the first week. I didn't, and everybody, y'all were looking at me like, I don't know. I told y'all she just been putting on a show. The last 2 episodes, it felt more natural. It felt more like, yes, this is her personality. She can be sweet. She can be kind, but she can also be nice, nasty. She could be like, I'm sweet and I'm nice, but don't mess with me and don't piss me off, because if you piss me off, I'm gonna get real ugly with you. Yeah. And I can respect that. But it just felt forced before. Now it feels more natural. And I like her. And now I've come around. I like Nikita. There we go. I've said it. I said it. I like her now.
Love it. Love it.
And this episode, she ate it up. Put it out there. She ate it up. We'll put that out there. But yes.
There really is that authenticity that comes like with reading that makes it so much funnier and so much more like not bearable, but like, as you said, like she's not lazy isn't being a villain. She's not being malicious. She's just telling the truth and having a laugh with it, like, and throwing some shade with it. Like that's what makes it fun. Yeah.
I hope Michelle's makes some Inner Saboteur reference, and Brenda's like, "No, that's Susan." Or Susan pops up, and no, that's actually me. I hope we get something like that. I don't know if we will, but I hope that pops up somewhere. But.
One of the big plot points, though, in this episode was Freya having issues getting her look together. And there was earlier in the episode, both Mandy and Brenda were acknowledging it in confessionals. They were like, oh, yeah, she's having a hard time. I'm like, are y'all going to help? Or are you just going to acknowledge it?
We acknowledge you're having a hard time, girl.
Nobody's obligated to help.
No.
I was like, but no, I hope that doesn't mean Freya's going home.
I know.
Because I don't want any of these girls to go home. But like, maybe... especially not Freya, because I'm really falling in love with her as a character on the show, and I love her. I was just like, no, Freya. The whole time I was like, oh no, Freya's going home. Freya's going home. And I started spiraling. I was like, no, not Freya. But also, I don't want anyone to go home. Can it just be a non-elimination season? Like, bring back Lana, bring back Olivia. Just
like, if not Freya, who? I don't know. I don't know who I want to send home, but I don't want it to be Freya. I don't want anybody to go. It was crazy. But yeah. I thought she was good, but I would too, David. I was like, so y'all just go acknowledge it and not try to help her? You just like, girl, I see you having a hard time. But Mandy did say.
But what I love is, this is why I love Mandy so much, because she was like, I need to make sure that my stuff is in check. Mandy knows Drag Race. Mandy knows Drag Race and she knows how to play this game. And she said, I need to make sure that I'm in check because even I'm not confident with the silhouette. And she ended up kind of changing her idea between the walkthrough and what she ultimately ended up making. And I love that she did. But she was like, I need to get myself in check first. Then I can help my sister. And we don't always see that from Queens on Drag Race. And I really respected that because I was like, make sure you're good. And then you can help. Yes. We saw Asia O'Hara. We saw Asia O'Hara almost land in the bottom and go home on an episode where she ended up helping everyone else around her. And we've seen it countless times on Drag Race. I was really happy that Mandy made sure she was in check first.
You want to know who did not do that, though? Who made sure they were in check first? Isis Avis Loren in last season. She made sure her look was on point before she did start helping other people in the workroom. I was like, the comparisons between the parallels between watching you on your season and Mandy on this season, I was like, that is how you do it. You have to make sure your look is done and perfected first before you could go and help anybody else, because the last thing you want to do is go home because you were helping everybody else when you know you got the skills and the talent to do it yourself.
And this is what you do.
This is what who want to be a designer and go home on a design challenge? That's crazy. That's
Not
like a
me.
singer. That's like a singer losing a voice challenge, and you because you helping everybody else prepare, and you have not learned your song. That's crazy. Yeah. Isis
Completely agree.
So, you ate it
It
down.
works for me. Let's see if it works for Mandy.
We'll see.
The last thing I had, and it's one of my favorite parts about this episode, is a conversation. It starts out with Mandy talking about how she's been doing drag for like 13 plus years, and everybody used to do everything on their own. They would make all their looks on their own. So things have kind of changed. But then it gets to this conversation and it's rare that there are conversations where I'm like, wait, I haven't heard this talked about on Drag Race before. But the queens start talking about the expectations for them to serve different looks every time they're performing. And I think Vibe was like, I spent $600 on this look. I'm not going to just not wear it more than once. And I do think this is probably, like, if I'm to guess, I don't know if Isis can attest to this, but I would think that this is something that would more affect queens pre-Drag Race, because once you're on Drag Race, you can reuse looks you wore on the show. People want to see those, and you're traveling, so you can wear the same look in different cities. But these queens that are just performing locally, they probably feel that pressure from the audience that is unrealistic. So I'm glad they talked about this.
Yes.
Yeah, look, it's a very, very unrealistic expectation to have of any performer. And like, just to put Vibe's example of spending $600 on an outfit, that's pretty like on par. And down here in Australia, we're sort of lucky to, be paid half of that for one like appearance pre-Drag Race. So you have to work 2 shifts to then afford a new garment. So even at that rate, you're not going to be able to have a new garment every time you step out. Like, you have to eat, you have to live, have to pay rent, like all that sort of stuff. So it is very important and really beneficial to be able to have these skills to make your own outfits. That really helps. But not everyone has the luxury, the time, the ability to do that. And also, that $600 is just for the dress. You've then got to think of the wig, your accessories, your shoes, your makeup. Like, drag is extremely expensive. And like, also for a finer point, to go onto Drag Race, I don't know if these people are forgetting, but you have to spend and outlay your own money to do it. And these days, you can't. It's not like season 1, 2, 3, or even 4 of the main franchise where you can rock up and wear off the rack. If you're wearing off the rack, if you're wearing H&M, everyone reads you. So it's
that's gin dress.
So it's really it can be very limiting and it can be very prohibitive as well. So whenever anyone walks onto Drag Race, they already get a huge amount of praise from me because it takes so much time, energy, effort, and money to do Drag Race now. Like, the standards of Drag Race are so high for the fringe franchises. Because they're being judged up against the main franchise, which is not only has 13 years, 14 years on everyone else almost. They also have, like, it's a huge industry now over in America, whereas in other places of the world, we're just sort of burgeoning, with sort of beginning in comparison. And we don't have the resources like you do in America. Like, when I was in LA, I went to the Fabric District and you had... So I was blown away by the options you all have, and it's like no one, like it's almost like if you don't have something custom made, like why not? Like it's almost a why not, because you have all these options. Whereas here in Australia, it's a little bit different. Op shop drag is a little more like acceptable, as long as you trick it up and like you add a rhinestone, you do you chop and change or whatever. Like that's acceptable because we don't have the options, we don't have the ability / even skill. So it's a little bit different, and we'll work towards it. But I do want to like push home the fact that we don't have the same resources. We don't have the same like skill, industry and skill that you'll do in America. It's wild. So make sure you're adjusting your expectations for younger seasons, because it's it's hard. It's hard out there for a bitch. Even I these days am like, gosh, do I wear that again? Like, oh, I don't know if I should wear that again because I've worn it so many times. You're like, I need to do something new. There's pressure there. There's pressure there, even for me.
Wear it again.
Yeah.
Wear it again, Isis.
Yeah. And the other thing as well is if you do put the time, energy, and effort into an outfit that you love and you pour your heart into it, you're going to wear it many more times than you are than a flippant, like, oh, I'll just get this bodysuit together for no reason. Like, not no reason, but like it's, yeah. So, yeah.
And Max brought up legacy
yes.
outfits too, which I thought was really cool. I never even thought about that.
I love that idea.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So legacy pieces are so beautiful and so important. So I remember getting like legacy boots from another drag queen called Tabitha Turlington. She like came up and was working in the 90s and 2000s, and overlapped a little bit when I was working as well. She gave me a few chances and a few gigs, which was amazing to work with her. And she gave me boots that she wore that her hooker friend would wear, or who had worn before her, who I think was either trans or a drag artist, or worked in the drag sphere. But I was like, oh my god, I'm wearing a hooker's boots that were worn by a Melbourne legend, who then I'm wearing them. Like it was like, it's just wonderful. And then like my drag mum Passion, she's given me a few hand-me-downs legacy pieces that I still have and I wear, and then one or two of those I've handed on to Max. So it's these garments. It's like a sisterhood of the traveling sequin dress. It's really sweet.
Sisterhood of the traveling hooker boots.
Exactly. It's just wonderful to have these pieces that have like the blood, sweat, tears, and energy from performance and nights out, and in these garments that then get to live another life and be accessorized and shown in a different light by another drag queen of a similar ilk. It's magical. There's magic and there's something special about it. It's really, really sweet. I'm trying to think of anything else I've like given Max, or I think there has been. What was it? I can't remember now. Anyway, yeah, we might see some on the season. We might not. I don't know. You might see some of the. Yeah, I'm trying to think now. Anyway,
I think that's so beautiful. I feel like I would love like seeing different drag families on, like, let's say your family, you went on Drag Race, now Max is on Drag Race, Max gets a drag daughter, she's on Drag Race, and we just see your dress you wore on your season, and Max wears it on her season, and then her daughter wears it. Like, I feel like that would be so special, and people will be like, oh, the legacy continues. I think that is so beautiful and so smart, and I agree. I think the unrealistic idea of people to just keep buying new things or making new things, that's a lot of money, a lot of time, a lot of labor that people just they just don't have. We don't have that these days. You tell me to make a dress right now, I'm like, baby, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm gonna wrap it around like a toga and look crazy on the runway because I don't have that skill. So I would be that person that has to get somebody to make it for me. So that's $600, $700, $800 that I'm gonna have to spend to get somebody to custom make me a dress. You think I got $800 for every show so I can get something new? No, baby, we're not balling out of control like that. So I love seeing, like we were talking about it on here, where we saw people on the wear something that we saw on their Instagram, like, oh, I saw that on their Instagram. Now they're wearing it on the runway. Absolutely do that. Why not repurpose and reuse?
Kyron Dax on UK right now wore a piece that I picked for our Instagram video for UK when we did it, and I was like, oh, I love this headpiece. It was the flower, the midsummer look. I don't you probably have seen it. You're as big of a fan as we are, Isis. I assume you probably seen it.
Oh yeah.
I was gonna say to that point, like the drag scene that we have here where I live is small but strong, and I love when I go out and see our drag artists in the same outfits. I'm like, oh, I've seen that, and I'm friends with several of them, and I'm like, girl, you're wearing that dress again? She's like, I know, I've worn it 3 times in the last month. Whatever, don't come for me.
So you're the problem.
I'm about to say, part of the problem. You just admitted.
No, it's only the ones that I'm friends with that I shade.
The one I'm friends with, I'd be like, girl, you wearing that dress again? You better. It's a cute dress.
Right.
You better wear it again.
Okay, and
but yes, we got to move.
Speaking of cute dresses,
yes,
we should go to the runway to talk about a very, very cute dress.
Yes.
It's time.
Uh-huh. Ooh.
Because Isis, what the fuck? How did you look this good?
Isis, you are not the host.
Ma'am.
Isis.
Ma'am.
My God.
Ma'am.
Baby.
Those are what we call birthing hips. That
Yes.
is some padding.
Baby.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
We don't always
thank you.
I say thank you. We don't always score a judge's look here, but this is getting a full cup from me today on this occasion. And I'm going to second that by also saying, even though you're here, she did what needed to be done on this occasion. Thank you. And also, everyone else looks great too.
Please tell me, did you make this?
Yep. Sure did.
Of course.
Stupid stunning. This is stupid. Okay,
you better wear it a lot.
I need $1,000 or so I can get Isis to make me a dress, because
right.
Oh my God, this is stunning. Stunning.
I love it.
Thank you all. Thank you so much. Yeah, I was very proud of this one. It not only construction wise, because it was a bit of a mind fuck to make everything lay beautifully, but it just looks gorgeous. It's a fucking gorgeous dress. Going on to this, I'm like, okay, I need to step up my pussy and make sure that I look good while I'm judging these hoes.
Yes. Especially for a design challenge.
I had a few looks that I brought with me, and I couldn't make them all myself because but I had most of them myself. Only the orange one someone else made, and I was talking with my best friend Bella, and I was like, what do I wear for this? What do I wear for that? Because I knew I knew the challenges that were going to be happening when I would be judging. Mm-hmm. So for this one, I was like, what am I going to wear? And she's like, you have to wear one of yours. And I'm like, okay, which one's the grandest, or I don't know. And she's like, probably this one. I'm like, okay, yeah, that one. So I'm very proud to have done this one. It's very beautiful. I feel pretty. I've done the photos for them, and when I tell you, they're some of the best photos I've taken in drag. The whole thing, it's beautiful. Watch out for my Instagram when I drop them. It might go off. It might just go off. I might just pop. It might go. It might be big. So it's I'm very proud of it. It's pretty. It's I look good. Yeah.
Could you say you might go off in those photos, Isis?
The photos might just go.
Wrong franchise, but
yeah.
Oh right.
Yeah.
It works though. It works,
but
I just clicked. I watched it last night, and
Me too.
We talked about it 3 hours ago.
Also, I do not know this guest judge. What is their name again?
G-Flip. I was going to say G-Flip, the single most fabulous lesbian Drag Race has ever had.
She's so funny.
Loved.
She was making me laugh multiple times, and I'm so mad at myself because I had plans to say, I don't have a cute intro, but I do have a cute knee skirt, but I forgot to do that.
Knee skirt
Knee
is now
skirt,
in my vocabulary
everything.
because of G
G-flip,
flip. Like,
yeah. She's like, I like the knee
truly
skirt.
so fun.
I love a knee skirt.
I love a knee skirt.
And her talking about the nails. Oh my gosh. When she's like, as a
God.
lesbian, those nails scare
Those
me.
nails scare me.
Yeah, she was great. She was so much fun. Yeah. I had
I
a
like
friend
her.
who went to a fashion show and G Flip was there, and my friend didn't know who she was. And so when she like was telling her daughter, she's like, "Oh, and I met G String."
Not G-string.
The way that we laughed, and then, like when she was telling me this story, oh my god, yeah. So I know it's G String now. Yeah, no,
Good.
yeah, G Flip, the G
Love
Flip,
G
yeah,
string.
she was lovely.
G-string, G-flip is lovely.
Yes.
But
Love it, love it, love it, love it, love it.
let's get into this
Now,
because yeah.
we
Ooh.
don't normally talk about the looks here on the recap, but because we have Isis for the recap, because she was here, we're going to do a little bit of a brief discussion on these looks. Make sure to go check out our Look Over Here episode where we will be covering the looks in depth, but we wanted to get Isis's thoughts, feelings. We got a little bit of it on the episode. We want to get a little bit more here. And then the three of us will be filling in with our brief thoughts as well on this, because this is the challenge for the week. Normally it would be insert discussion of challenge here. That's what we're doing this week. So let's start each round with Isis and then do one of us and go back and forth like that. I think that'll work. So let's talk about Lazy Susan.
Look, on the top, all of the girls did a great job this season in this challenge. It is very, very, cream of the crop. It is everyone did amazing with their own fabrics. So it was really hard to judge. We had to really go in for the jugular, for the nitty gritty things. And Lazy did a wonderful job with this. It's hard to work with pleather, for one, and her concept is really strong. It's just that we've seen like the devil sort of thing before, and it wasn't a particularly overly exciting outfit. It was a regular dress. Horns, yeah, cool, lovely, really good job, ticked all the boxes. But I suppose also in comparison to her Lazy Susan dress and the holographic fan, it was a little bit of a different sort of level. Still amazing, still cool, but we also had stronger. So she done tick all of the good things. Yeah, sufficient, very sufficient, polished, gorgeous. Story. Little reveal, great, loved it.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you. It has a creative angle to it, but there is a simplicity to it that I'm not used to from her. It almost kind of looks like a romper though in this photo, which would have been really cool if that's what she was going for. I do like the dark part at the bottom, like how it kind of looks like it's been singed by fire.
Spray painted?
I believe so. It seems
probably.
A couple people were spray painting, so that wouldn't surprise me.
Right. But overall, yeah, I agree. Everybody did well, but I actually would have flipped her and had her the low safe instead of another person who was in the bottom three. I'll get to it.
I agree. Let's talk about Lucina, Innocence and Florals.
Lucina. Vibe said like she would have kept the roses just to the very edges of the garment, and I completely agree. I think I gave the critique on the runway that didn't air that I would have like clumped all of the florals into like certain areas onto the dress and had like more of a design like eye to bring you down and around the garment rather than just like a spotted everywhere, and I stand by that. It's a beautifully constructed garment. It's gorgeous. She looks really, really cute. Like mug, face card does not decline. But it just sort of like, I think she maybe got tired, or was the end of, was heading towards 12, p.m. at night. They'd been sewn for a long time, and her mind maybe wandered. She just started like sticking the roses everywhere, and it was sort of like it just that lax of judgment that was just like, yeah, you just need to like step back for a minute, think about it, and then go for it. Yeah, still a great garment, but just missed the design in comparison to other girlies.
Yeah, I do agree. This is my favorite thing Lucina has worn on this season. I will say that too. I think she looks absolutely radiant here. I think this was her best week, honestly. Like, it's so well constructed. The caliber of this season, like we've been talking about, is just so high that it is unfortunate. What I would have loved, and she talked about it, it was either in her walkthrough with you and Michelle, or just in general, she was going to do some sort of like wrap around with the pink floral, and I really wish she had done that, because like you said, I wish she had kind of highlighted maybe the breast, highlighted, you know, her figure, which is incredible. That's the one, or even just coming down the side, giving her a little bit more of that slimming effect, and just highlighting how good her shape looks in this. I don't mind the garment as is, but I definitely think, and maybe a different hair. I didn't love this hair with it because it did kind of block the garment a little bit. But overall, I think Lucina looks incredible. Nikita Iman in denim.
This, I like in the walkthrough, had no idea what she was going to turn out. No idea. And when she turned the corner, like, I was like, oh my God, like, just, yeah, she blew it out of the water. I absolutely love the creativity in this, the street vibes that it gives. Like, it's almost like a final like art piece from like St. Martin's in London. Like it's fucking cool. Like it's just fucking cool. And her elements that she created, like denim's not easy to work with. And the fact that she thought of it as a canvas rather than, you know, just fabric is a masterstroke. Like it's a masterstroke of genius, and it really gave her a chance to show her creativity, and it's fucking wonderful. I don't love the wig, to be quite honest. It still works. And it gives it that edge still. But yeah, she was tops for me this week. Tops for me.
I never felt so close and related to Nikita than I did when she stepped around that corner. I was like, oh, girl, what? I didn't know she had this in her, but this was absolutely stunning. I know I'm gonna say don't look over here too. This was my favorite thing on the runway. Because she just looked like an art piece. She looked fashionable. She looked relatable. Like she looked like and I say this a lot, but I know y'all gonna be like, how you say this all the time? But like she looked like somebody I could have grown up with. Like in my neighborhood, we always had, you know, it's a diverse group of people, and we had the cute little Latina girl who lived down the street and she was cute, and we had the Asian family and the girl who looked and Filipino family. Like the girls, they came up and they lived in the neighborhood that I stayed in, so we all adapted to each other's culture, and she can just be that girl who you just like, yeah, I know she Asian, but she cool. She the cool Asian. She the cool girl, and she can hang out with us, and we all have a good time. She looks like a girl from around the way, but that fashion girl, that girl who I knew who grew up was like, she's always in fashion, and she gonna go off to go to fashion school. Like she gonna go off once we get older. She gonna go to fashion school, and then all of a sudden she gonna come back, and she's just gonna be still put together, but she just wears her clothes in a different way, and it's always cool. She looks like the cool girl who we want to hang out with, and I just love this look so. And I didn't mind the wig because for that very reason, it was like she put on a jeans outfit, and wore it differently for everybody, and her hair was always so cool and different from it. She just looks good. This was the first time for me. I was just like, Nikita looks good, and she is ready for this run. She ready for this drag race thing. Last week, or not last week, the week before, the first week, I was like, I don't know if she's ready. I don't know if she's ready for this drag race thing. I don't know if she's ready. She looked cute, but I don't want cute. I want drag. And she was giving me cute the first week. This, she's drag. She's ready. And I think I changed my whole outlook on her. She's going to be around here for a minute. I believe she's going to be around here for a minute because she's good. She's good. Good.
Yeah,
Love it.
from having her from the promo having a boa wrapped around her to this, like it is incredible. Like,
Night and day.
and the fact that the fit is perfect and then the design elements are gorgeous, like it's yeah.
This girl's ready. Period.
Next up, Brenda Breast featuring Failed Reveal.
Yeah, when the failed reveal happened, I'm like, oh girl, I'm so sorry for you. It's just the universe said nope, not today. Yeah, there was so where do we start? The I actually prefer the non revealed look. I think the long skirt looks better. It gives her more of a definition of a waistline. And there's just a lot of design elements going on and a lot of accessories and a lot like when I watched the episode and they turned to me and said, we've given you the note before to edit. We had given her the note in previous episodes to make sure she was editing and make sure she wasn't going overboard, because you can gild the lily in drag. You can be a bit too much. And it then becomes extremely costumey, or, it's just overwhelming to the eye. And you already had this extremely bold tie-dye print that was assaulting to the eyes, and then you had multiple I would have changed then you had all these accessories. Like, she didn't need the glasses. She probably could have left the necklace on and it would have been a cleaner look. It would have been a bit easier to swallow all of those colors. And I would have changed the sleeves into a different shape, maybe to just streamline it a bit. Yeah, as the construction's great. She did a really good job on all of those sort of like demarkers, those criteria. But as in terms of taste level, yeah, it was a lot. I wish she had edited more, but there you are. Yeah, I actually we made a point earlier that the girls were given the fabric, so they were given 3 choices in each of the boxes, and they chose which one from those boxes or multiple. I don't know if they could choose multiple. So it was interesting that she chose this one. It might have been the best one. I can't remember. But yeah, it does definitely scream rainbow rather than tie-dye. But at this point, it's still ugly. So,
Okay, well, I specifically wanted to be the person that talked about Brenda because I wanted to disagree with Isis right to her face. Yes, because I actually like this. I think there's a ceiling to how much I can like this based on the material. But like you said, I think it's constructed really well. And I got kind of a theme for it. Like, it kind of reminded me of like a hippie teacher while she's working and then when she's done with work. And I like that. And I think it needed the glasses to really tie that together, tie-dye it together even. And when you all kept saying there's so many accessories, I'm like, where? We have earrings, we have a necklace, we have a headband, we have a bracelet, and then glasses. That's not too many. They're drag queens. They're drag queens.
Yes, it is, David.
No, I've seen way more that have.
Coco Chanel said, before you leave home, take one thing off. She needed to take something off.
This is cute. This should have been safe. This is who I would have flipped Lazy Susan with. I would have spun it around.
You would have turned the lazy Susan
Oh,
around.
that felt good. Disagreeing with the judge to their face for once.
Ah,
Can I just
scandalous.
Well,
Oh,
that's
go
your
ahead.
opinion, David. That's your opinion.
And Isis, you could say, but you're not the judge. I am.
I'm not qualified.
Can I do a little side note real quick? Isis, I think I just fell in love with you just a second when you were taking down your hair and doing that. I was like, oh
yeah.
oh my. I don't know what it was. I just have to say that. I was just like, okay. It was just that moment. You were just like,
I mean, to be vulnerable on the pod today, I have always found Isis Avis Loren very.
I was like, that was so cute. That's so cute.
Look, I've always liked long hair, so when I saw Isis's confessional look, I'm like, oh, okay. I'm pretty sure there's podcast evidence of me saying
you
that.
did. I
There
never
is,
said it, and not that I didn't mean it, but it was just in that moment when you were doing it. I was just like, oh, that is kind of hot.
You see, it was distracting. It's just distraction tactic from what David was saying, so then no one would listen to David.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
because I had no idea what David was saying. I heard
That
nothing.
sounds about right. We don't listen to David usually anyway.
No,
I do, but not in that moment. I was like,
no, I hear you, David. I see all your points. I appreciate your opinion. Yeah, I was getting so active with my hair that it came out a little bit, so I had to fix it for the pod.
Great,
It's
I
all
love it.
good.
Fix it anytime you want, please. Thank you.
Let's talk about Vibe. In Sequin.
Yeah, Vibe sold this down the runway so beautifully. I think she was really effective in how she designed this, because Sequin needs a lot of movement to get you the biggest payoff because of where the light hits and all sorts of stuff. So for her to have a slit, so that it means the majority of the fabric could move around, really let it sparkle. And she did something smart. Sleeves are really hard to set in to your shoulder and all of that sort of stuff. So she just said, oh, attach it to here so it gives the effect, but I have all of the movement and all of the range, and I can do everything with it. And it still is, it covers me. It's a bit demure, but it's a little bit sexy with a couple of the cutouts and that sort of stuff. She's the bee's knees. She is gorgeous. She made a simple silhouette. She let the fabric speak for itself, which is all that you need to do with Sequin. And she just looks $100. She looks $1,000. She spent that $600 well on this garment. Like, it's gorge. Love it.
That's what I was gonna say. Is it looks like something she could have brought to Drag Race, and I absolutely would have believed it. Like it, and Sequin is, with my very minimal sewing knowledge, Sequin is not easy to work with. We heard Reese talk about his pencil bag, and I agree, because I've also made one out of Sequin, so I know that it's difficult.
You're homosexual.
Oh, of course. I'm wearing a rainbow nasty pig shirt, of course.
Yeah.
Obviously. No, I was really impressed with Vibe here. Wasn't my absolute favorite of the week, but definitely one of my top. I would say she was my second favorite, probably. Just the bow and the hair and the accessorization, just enough accessory to highlight the look while not taking away from the look, which is what I think happened with Brenda, unfortunately. But the cutout with the shoulder too, and the keyhole in the back, just everything came together so beautifully. I do wish that she had cinched just a little bit more, just to give a little bit more hourglass, but that's really the only critique I could have for this look. She looks incredible. Let's talk about Freya, our dear Freya, in her kitty girl animal print, tiger print look.
Freya does look gorgeous, and like when you sit back and look at it, it's a lovely silhouette, it's a lovely dress. It was just the details that unfortunately let her down, that skill set that you kind of need for it. Like, there was a really weird bunching at the back at the knee. It's like she had a really low descended testicle just sitting there. Like, it was really weird. And then and Lana, I see you cracking up. And then like the belt was like just a bit of fabric that was tied around. Yeah, and then at the back, she had like this odd bit of fringe on the back to like cover up any mistakes that she had. It's like, what is that doing there? What? So there was just very weird choices that if you had a strong skill set, you could have avoided having to make those decisions, or covering up those mistakes. But yeah, so yeah, good, but there was some mistakes made.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was
knee skirt.
I'm about to say the knee skirt of it all. Well, for me, it was like, okay, I do agree with you. I think the silhouette is good. Silhouette's great. She looks pretty. It's just the little technical details and issues and they were so glaring. Like,
Yeah.
it was like, if it wasn't as glaring as it was, she probably could have got away with it. But the hemline was weird. The knee skirt line, you saw that it was weird. Like you said, all the bunching and the thing. She looks gorgeous though. Like, I know the dress isn't fitting right and it's not doing what it's supposed to do, but man, that hair and makeup is gorgeous. She looks stunning, but just the little stuff. But I still love Freya.
On her Instagram, she has posted like the photos of this, but remade, and of how she would, if she had the time, energy, resources, whatever, to like make it look perfect. She and it looks gorgeous. She looks absolutely gorgeous in the photos. So go check out what she actually would have done. Yeah.
Period.
Definitely. Let's talk about your daughter. Your daughter in checkered print.
Maxie! I call her Maxima, actually. I've got it saved in my phone as Maxima, because everyone says Maxine. I'm like, no, she's not a Maxine. I don't like that. So she's Maxima to me. She looks gorgeous. She has done some, like, when she said, I don't think a skirt's going to work, I was so pleased, because the skirt's great, but it's really basic and easy to do. So pants are not easy to construct. And to make fit correctly, because you've got 3 directions that you're working with in terms of fit. You've got around, down, and then also through the body, through the crotch. So that's really difficult to do for one. So I've taught her well there. And then she's got like the scarf that comes off the back, like it just looks really cool. She's accessorized it beautifully, just with the stripes in her hair and the glasses to make it really like she's driving in a convertible along the coast of France. It's great. And then with the accessory of the flag, it's just fun. She's cool. She's young, modern, hip, fresh. Yeah. Delivers it on the runway. And the garment speaks for itself as well. Like, it just stands out, in my opinion. Yeah. I do think the top is a little bit simple, with just the 2 pieces at the front. It could have been maybe something wrapped around to the back. But, I think safe was an appropriate position in this case, in comparison to, again, the other girls who did even stronger. So, yeah, great.
Yeah, I agree with you. I thought this was a very strong effort from her. I'm glad that you clarified that they had to pick one material, because I was like, oh, why didn't she use any of the other ones? She wouldn't have needed to, because I think this does work best just sticking to the one fabric. And oftentimes I'm like, well, I want to see you padded, but I think with this specific material, I like how it's just such a slender, straight up and down on the sides there. It's giving me really mod 60s. I think she looks great. And like the judges said, any other season, she would have been in the top for sure.
Yeah. Actually, I want to point out as well is that every edge is is bounded with that black stripe, which just finishes the line off, and you can see it demarked, and that really gives you it's that attention to detail that we love to see, and that takes time. It takes time. So for Max is an experienced sewer, because she hasn't got the years on me, or Mandy, for example, but she knows what she has to do. She sees the marks she has to hit, and she hits them every time.
She's got her mother's eye. I said that watching the episode. I was like, she's got her mother's eye. I see it. I see your influence in her making this. More so than I have so far this season, honestly. Not saying that I haven't, but this episode more than anything, I was like, I see where Isis has prepared her. And I love it. And last up, Miss Mandy Moobs in LeMay.
So, This look, again, like, is incredible. Her skill set is like maddening. Like, I don't think I would have been able to construct something as involved and intricate and detailed as this in the amount of time they had this season. It's a masterclass in sewing. It's a masterclass in design. It's a masterclass in time management. Like, it is wild. Looking back in hindsight, I don't love the blue. I would have maybe preferred it to just be gold and silver. Having said that, I still stand by my standing ovation because the way she delivered it, she looks incredibly gorgeous. Like, she's stunning. And the fact that she made that outfit in like 7 hours, she deserves every flower that she's given. This was her week. Like, you can't deny the absolute star power and talent that Mandy Moves is with this garment. One, you have a corset, which takes forever to cut out and then sew. Then you have multiple full layers in that knee skirt, or multiple circles in that knee skirt. You then have an actual skirt underneath that. Then you have draping ruching on the corset, which takes time to do. And then you have sleeves. She has a headband. She had there are so many elements to this that she could have not had time to do, but I don't know how she did it. Like, she must have been on meth or something to get her through this, to speed through this, because the amount of sheer, it's just insane. It's insane. And then she did gloves as well. Gloves are a fucking bitch to make. And then to help other people. Yeah, this queen is so insanely talented that you need to be following her right now. Like, if you're not following her, you are missing out, because she's going to bring you some fucking shit that's going to be amazing. And for the corset as well, it's not just a simple corset, it's a cupped corset, which requires you to put the cup in separately, which is also extremely difficult. And then she's working with lame, which is it's a bitch of a fabric to work with, because if you get the shine wrong or if you get the thing wrong, it pulls weird. That's why I gave her a standing ovation. The program, the TV show, the edit didn't give enough time of the appreciation that this requires. Yeah. All right. I'm done.
She did what needed to be done. That's all I have to say. Because Isis said everything I was going to say, because it's the truth. Just the sheer amount of work she was able to do in 7 hours, plus whatever time she sacrificed not getting sleep, plus helping people. I don't need to say anything else, because it's incredible what she did.
Yeah.
Maybe I do like lame.
I'm about to say she took an ugly fabric like lame, because I don't like lame, but she took lame and made it look so dang fashionable and good. I was shocked when she walked down the runway. I was just
Millennia is triggered.
I just would have loved a different hair color. That's all for me, but I still love it. Okay. But so we got our results. We'll talk about them here in a second. Really, the only major thing in Untucked is we do get Lucina having a bit of a moment, rightfully just never really feeling like she is able to get ahead of the curve in the competition. And unfortunately, it seems like that is a running theme with the first couple of queens that we've had as well, is just they're really not able to get ahead of the curve. And it's unfortunate, because she is so stupidly talented. But this is a season with stupidly talented people that it's difficult for sure. And I felt for her.
Yeah, it was interesting. It was interesting to see Lucina go through those feelings and because even especially because earlier in the show people were like, who's the next to go doing the majority rules, and they said Lucina. That probably played in her mind over and over again, especially then hearing the the critiques that she got. And she's just like, what do I have to do? Like, I feel like I'm doing everything. And sometimes it's just like that. You get in competitions and do things, and sometimes you just never, ever get ahead of what people's expectations are. And then sometimes you do. I think Lucina is one of those people. I feel like give her another year or two, bring her back for All Stars whenever they get All, and she could do really, really well and eat the competition up because she's so good. She's so talented. She just needs to feel the confidence in herself and believe that, yeah, I'm supposed to be here. Yeah, I'm just as good. Because if you weren't that good, girl, they wouldn't have put you on the show. You are good. You are good. She is good. I like her. That's why I picked her for my draft team. I liked her. And so I was just like, I felt for her. I felt for her in those moments where she was just like, I just don't feel like I'm getting ahead. And every time she did get a little ounce of confidence, she felt like the girls was like, nope, you're supposed to go. Oh, no, I didn't like that from you, Lucina. You need to step up more. You need to say more. And I was like, leave this girl alone. Let her be. But I felt for her in that moment. I just want to run up and hug her too because I felt for her. But she was so pretty. She's so dang pretty.
And Brenda was having a hard time too. She was crying and saying she misses her partner and her family. And I was getting nervous. I'm like, it's okay. It's okay. Just stick it out.
I thought she was about to quit. I thought she was about to quit. I was like, don't quit. Please don't quit.
I honestly was getting nervous she was going to quit.
Yeah. I'm happy she didn't.
Me too.
But
me too.
Let's talk about our results. So we end up with a top 3, thanks to Isis and other people. Nikita, Mandy, and Vibe.
I agree. I agree with this top 3.
Yep.
I agree.
Yeah.
Agreed.
All very, 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 very strong.
Yes. And the winner is Mandy. Yeah.
Not bad. I agree. Like, look, you can make me like LeMay, then you done your job. You've done your job.
Yes.
But one of my favorite parts of the episode was after they gave the win to Mandy, and then Michelle says, Vibe. She's like, it's a tie, isn't it?
It's a tie, right?
Isn't it? I was like, girl, if it was going to be a tie, it wasn't going to be.
It would have been Nikita, girl.
It would have been Nikita.
It was a tie. It was Nikita and Mandy.
I wouldn't have minded that either. And this is
I wouldn't have minded that either.
Like 4 episodes in a row, I'm like, I don't think I would have minded a double win, honestly. Maybe except for the first one, because I think Susan did absolutely demolish the premiere. But every other episode since, I'm like, this could be easily a double win, and I would be more than okay with it. Mm-hmm. So super well deserved. Love Mandy. Mandy. Our bottom 3 ends up being Brenda, Freya, and Lucina, kind of by proxy because everyone did good. These are just the 3 that were not the best.
Yeah.
But we do get Brenda saved, probably due to a combination of the look being great and, she just came off of a win. So I get it. I absolutely get it. Our bottom 2 ends up being Lucina and Freya, and we get an incredible lip sync. What About Me by Moving Pictures. I love a ballad. I love a ballad. I love a ballad. I love a ballad. And I love Freya Armani in this ballad. And also Lucina, but mostly Freya. I'd
never heard this song before, but I was in tears at the end. I was like, I want to know, what about me? Like, are you thinking about me? What about me? This song was so moving. And the way they performed it, I was just like, oh my goodness. Oh my God. I liked how they both were so different, because Freya was feeling it. Baby, she was giving it to me. She on the floor, she spinning around, she looking into the camera. What about me? Feel me, give me, tell, what about me? I'm doing everything I can. What about me? And I like Lucina's gentleness with it. She was so like, but what about me? Do you hear me?
There was an ease to
it. It was a whisper. It was a whisper with her. It was like Freya was screaming, what about me? And Lucina was like, what about me? do you hear me? I'm talking right to you. And I loved it. I was like, man, I connected to both of them on both levels. So I was like, I don't know who gonna win it. And I think I know who's gonna win it, but either one of them could have won it for me. And I would have been like, I get it. They both did such an amazing job. Took a song I had no idea. Now I love it. And now it's on my playlist. I'm like, what about me? I want to hear that song often because I've, for one, has been asking people, hey, have you ever thought about me from time to time? What about me? I'm doing so much for you. What about me? I felt that. And I love both ways that they portrayed it. It was beautiful. It was beautiful.
See, now I wish I had gone earlier because I do like the song and I think they performed it well. For me, I think Freya performed it significantly better. I just think Lucina has set my expectations for her a little bit higher than this because she's done very well in the lip syncs that she's been in. Hey, she lip syncs every time Isis is there. What's up with that?
Isis, conspiracy theory.
Yeah, she honestly felt a little resigned and maybe a little too introspective with how she was performing it. And so that just caught me off guard. And I wanted to see her have more power behind it. So for me, it was definitely Freya winning.
I get that though.
So I'd love to give all of your viewers context for this song because it's quite well known down under. One, because the original, which is the version they were singing or lip syncing to in the episode, is really beautiful. It's really good. But in our first season of Australian Idol, the runner-up then afterwards released this song of their own version. His name is Shannon Knoll, and it went everywhere. Everyone was listening to it in I think it was 2007 or something. I can't remember now. No, maybe 2001, something like that, early 2000s. And it was, everyone loved it. It was it's the anthem of the year. It was beautiful. So it's like a Australian classic almost. But for season 3, our audition tapes, we were required to do this song as a lip sync. So yes, for our audition tapes. And so I was like, oh my God, this song. And it is really beautiful. The lyrics tell a beautiful story, a really sweet story of, as we say in Australia, battlers who are struggling because of the circumstances they've been placed in, who are, there's a lot of farmers and agricultural people in Australia really struggle because we have huge droughts that go on for years and there's huge pressure on them to, anyway, and other people who are around Australia who are really finding it tough, not only financially, but, they've got a lot of stuff going on. They've got, heartbreak or deaths, all that sort of stuff. So people who are battling. Anyway, so it's a really special song for a lot of Australians because it holds a lot of meaning. So yeah, listen to it. Have a good listen to it. It's beautiful. One day I might release my audition tape to show how I did it. Because yeah, I wanted to do it one way. Where it would be this grand, big thing. But I did it a different way. I did it much more drawn back and simple, which I thought was, pretty. And hopefully that's maybe one of the reasons why I got on. So, yeah, it's very special to a lot of down under girlies.
Love that.
The irony is not lost on me that an American queen won this lip sync, now knowing that content.
Yeah. Yeah.
God. Oh, wow.
Sometimes I forget Freya's American queens. I forget that sometimes.
I do, even though her accent is decidedly American.
Yeah. I just don't pay attention to it as much, I guess, because everybody's, I don't know.
I'm watching Down Under. I'm not watching US.
Right. So I don't think about, she's an American queen.
Yeah. But
she's a great combination of the two drag aesthetics and feelings. She brings that American fire and fierceness, but she has an Australian humor there. That's
sensibility.
And
there's
and
a
sensibility.
very Australian sensibility about her.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's magical to watch.
Yeah. And it was wildly magical to watch. She did win this lip sync. I do agree, unfortunately.
I do too.
It
Yeah.
means we lose Lucina. And I just, more than anything for her, I am glad that she did go out on an episode where she did do remarkably in this challenge. I'm glad that she was able to have kind of a high, and she did leave on a great note. I do wish she had been able to get her feet under her in the competition and be able to show exactly who she is, because you can tell she is so talented and there's so much raw talent there. Mm-hmm. She's someone that, like, if she pops up on another season in the future, I would love to see it. And I think we're going to see an evolution of Lucina. And I think we're going to see it even without the show. So I'm thrilled now that I know who Lucina is, because her humor has been so wonderful this season. And she played one of my icons last week in Snatch Game, and I will always appreciate her for that.
Yeah, I agree with you. She's like stealth funny. I never expected to laugh so much as I do with her. And I think she can proudly like say that she has one of the top 5 mugs on Down Under, like, period. Like, if not higher. Like, she really knows how to paint. I was going to say
top 5 maybe of all time across the world, honestly. I'll say it,
like
so you don't have to.
But that's okay.
I'll say it so you don't have to.
Okay.
I would have loved to seen Lucina do the makeover challenge, which is a product of the TV show that, you know, not every queen is strong in every single, you know, every single talent. And so with makeover challenge usually being later in the season, you need to be able to get through those first however many episodes to get to that, to then be able to show that talent. So yeah, I think, you know, it was situational for her. She didn't have the strongest talents in the first couple of challenges, and it's just laid out this way. Otherwise she may have done even better if other challenges were in there instead. So yeah. You know, if it was a big styling challenge, it was makeover challenge, it was makeup related, she may have, you know, gotten a win. But the cards fell that way. So and she's very, very talented. I saw her on Friday. She was there for Max's viewing party, and she was funny, she was gorgeous, she was just, you know, a ball of energy and light that you just go, oh my god, like, you know, this TV show doesn't have enough time to show all the queens in their broadest and most expansive light. So you need to make sure you're following every single queen on every single franchise that you possibly can, so you can enjoy what the queer energy and experience and art is all about.
Absolutely. So I guess we have to get into the next part of this. And I'm very sad because Lucina's gone, which affects me in my draft. So.
And Mandy won, which affects me in my draft.
Well, great. despite you losing a person and despite Logan getting a win, Logan still is in 3rd place with 33 points, and the gaps are getting there. Lana, you are in 2nd place with 40 points, but Team Melbourne Queens and Vibe, aka David's team, is in 1st place with 56 points.
This is ridiculous. This is what we're gonna call it. Look, we're about to call it in week 3. David's gonna win
literally.
Have a dang good team.
Well, this is what's gonna happen. Oh my goodness. But it's okay. I'm not last, so I'm all right.
I'm holding on. I'm holding on with a Mandy and a someone in a dream. It's Mandy and Nikita?
You have Nikita, yes.
I'm holding on with Mandy, Nikita, and a dream. They did a lot of heavy lifting for me this week, and I'll take it.
They really did. They really did.
Yeah. And who have you got, Lana?
Yeah. Who do I have, David?
Lana has Freya, had Lucina, Max, and
Vibe. Period. I'm gonna do good. I'm gonna do all right. I'm gonna be all right.
I had Olivia and Karna, so I started off, you know, I don't regret my choices, but, you know, the competition did not start the way that my draft would have liked. So it is what it is. It happens. But I was gonna say she only needed to make it one more week to make it to the makeover next week.
Yep.
Oh, that's so unfortunate.
I know.
But I love that they're doing a makeover so early. But
Is it
I wish they
librarians?
Librarian
librarians. I was
Okay.
like, oh,
Cool.
And
okay.
unfortunately, we don't get to see Isis on our screens next week, but we
No.
do get to see Spanky Mother Tucker in the house tonight, and that
Heck
I am
yeah.
excited for.
I love
Fuck
Spanky.
yeah.
I have
love
not gotten the pleasure of knowing Spanky. I have not watched Spanky seasons, so I'm excited to get to know Spanky.
You're gonna
Yes.
love her.
I'm
I
sure.
think you're gonna love her. Yeah.
I'm sure.
Yeah,
And we love
she's heaven.
and we love Isis Avis Loren for joining us today on this episode. This has been an absolute delight, a joy, and a privilege to talk to you today, Isis. Thank you.
Thank you for having me on the pod. I love all you guys, and love that you give a lot of love and energy in these podcasts, because that means the world to us. There are many other people who like to throw the shade and spill the tea when it's you all give a lot of context and a lot of love, and the benefit of the doubt, and appreciate all of the work that goes into it. So you're all doing God's work by giving us the love back. So thank you so much, and thank you for having me on today. I love to talk about drag.
Anytime you want to join us again, you have a seat at our table, and you are more than welcome to be here.
Any franchise.
Any franchise, really.
You. I've been trying to keep up with all of them, but it's impossible. It's impossible.
Trust, we are too.
Oh
We're barely
God, I don't know
treading
how you're
water
doing
right
it.
now. We're barely treading
Yeah.
water. But with that being said, thank you for joining us for our recap. Make sure to check out Isis. Her Instagram is down below. IsisAvisLoren.com will also be in the description below. So make sure to get the merch.
Get
follow
merch.
her. Do all the things. And while you're down there, make sure to subscribe to us, like this video, share it with your friends, share it with all your friends that love Isis and Down Under and drag and all those wonderful things. And we've got the links down there for all of our audio podcasts, our other YouTube channels, our Patreon, our social media, and where you can get your merch, including but not limited to the new and improved cup mug. And with all that being said, we are going to go ahead and get out of here. So cheers, queens.
Cheers.
Bye.